Good morning, and welcome to You Be the Judge. We're coming up on a very special day. Not Thanksgiving, although that is a special day and it's a great time for all of us to be thankful for all of our gifts. But on Tuesday, December 2nd, it's Giving Tuesday. And I have always believed and have been taught to believe that the greatest gift in the world is the gift of giving. And the example that I would give you is if you're at mom or dad's birthday party and the kids are all there, what do they all say? Open up my present, open up my present. And their faces light up as you open up their present because they're so happy to have made you happy with a present. We seem to lose that. We forget that there is more to be gained by giving than receiving. And my guest today is somebody that understands that more than anyone I know in this community because his whole life is about being there for other people. And I know I'm making him embarrassed, but you name the charity in northeastern Pennsylvania, and I can assure you, you'll see Tom Welby there, or you'll hear his voice on television or radio. Tom, thank you for being with us, and thank you for everything you do.
Todd, thank you. First, thank you for saying that. That's very kind of you to say that. I think we have so many people in our community. We're blessed to be able to live in a community where I think that spirit, that philosophy exists more so than many other communities around the country.
We see it all the time. Whenever somebody has a drive, whenever somebody is doing something, people love to pitch in. This is a very, very giving community. But it's also a community that has great needs. And I mean, we both saw it. I'm really proud of the folks that I work with here in O'Malley and Langen. On Veterans Day, we had a day of action. And the day of action meant that we went to the St. Francis Common, where a lot of those folks that are in transitional housing, they're going from, in some cases, homelessness, to hopefully find something that will sustain them a little better. But while they're there, we brought them in a dinner and made them 2 meals, lunch and dinner, but also brought in all sorts of food that we asked our client, or all sorts of clothing that we asked our clients and friends to contribute. And we brought in hats and gloves and so much. And the joy that those fellas saw when they started to dig through that pile of great, slightly used clothing was wonderful. And the joy that the folks that work here felt doing it.
The thoughtfulness that you and everyone here at O'Malley and Langen put into that was pretty evident and obvious, and I think really appreciated by the people that received the gifts. Certainly, first a genuine home cooked from fresh ingredients. 2 meals was terrific, but the other things that you had in all of the bags that you had together for the residents and other people that happened by, including so many different personal care items. It's a lot of things that a lot of us, I don't think about those things, and they're important to all of these people that are in need.
Well, if you want to give anything down at St. Francis Commons, gloves, hats, but also, as you say, shaving cream, deodorant, soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes. And I don't want to sound like a big spender, but you can go to the dollar store and pick up just so much of that stuff for $1 an item, and it makes you so happy to give it away.
That's right. And Price Chopper has one of their end aisle displays has Colgate toothpaste, a buck for a tube of toothpaste, and a lot of other personal care items, a buck.
When we come back, Tom, I want to talk to you about what people can do for this Giving Tuesday, because I know, as you mentioned to me, there's an awful lot of the local charities that are already involved in it. EOTC, I know you're on their board, and they are, and several of the other charities. So let's talk about that when we come back. Please stay tuned to You Be the Judge. Todd O'Malley here from O'Malley & Langen. If you're used to wearing these, and now you're stuck home wearing these, you may have a disability that prevents you from working. Call us at O'Malley & Langen. We can help you get the Social Security benefits that you've earned. Welcome back to You Be the Judge. Well, the break time, you were talking to me about one of the things that they do over at the EOTC as far as a toy giveaway. Talk to our audience a little bit about that.
When you talk about Giving Tuesday, which is terrific that we can have on that day or any day, we make it a point to just take it in our pocket and whether it's $1 or $5, I mean, it doesn't have to be $100. It doesn't have to be the $1,000 gift, although that's certainly good. But $1 and $5 with all of us giving really does. It's not just something that we say. It really does add up. And EOTC has a program that they do. When you mentioned about the joy of giving, I come from a family of 13. I have 6 brothers and 6 sisters. One passed, but come from a big family. And in growing up, I mean, certainly it was wonderful to get something, but also coming from a family that didn't have a great deal, when as a family member you did get to give something to someone, it meant a great deal, and there was at least as much joy in that giving as there was in getting. And the people at EOTC recognized that a few years ago, and they have a Santa's workshop kind of a day that they have coming up in a couple of weeks. And they ask people to donate gently used toys to EOTC, and they clean them up and refurbish them and do whatever they want, make sure everybody has fresh batteries and an extra set of batteries to go with it, should the toy have batteries, so they have a backup when those drain out. But they clean those toys up, and they bring children in from all over the community, particularly the underserved. And the difference with the way they do it is if for instance, I were to go in there, well, as unfortunate to the child as it may seem at the moment, they get to pick out a toy to give to someone else, to give to a brother or sister. And they walk through along with an escort. We have some scout volunteers and some adult volunteers that walk with them and suggest to them and get out from them perhaps what might be an appropriate toy for their sibling. And they walk through and they pick out something to give to someone else. And then we take them through and we wrap it for them. We have volunteers for that. And they go home with a gift to give to a sibling, and we hope that feeling is really contagious. And the people over at EOTC are always looking for the donation of those items or any small cash contributions to help buy the batteries and things like that, or for the volunteers for that day to help out and be a part of that day.
And I got to tell you, one of my favorite charities, places that I love to give to, is EOTC. Sharon McCrone has done such a magnificent job over there in so many different ways to help families that are in transition and in problems. And I know you have served on their board. And do you remember the address? I know it's on 7th Avenue, but the exact address of the building.
Shame on me. I don't remember the street address on 7th Avenue. It's the building on 7th Avenue between Linden Street and Lackawanna Avenue. We all pass it quite a bit, those that commute in and around Scranton. And shame on me for not remembering that street address, but it is on 7th Avenue by that U-Haul building and there between Lackawanna and Linden.
You can look it up on the internet, just
Absolutely.
EOTC. And
it's eotcworks.org is the web address, yeah.
And that's a great way to be involved.
And they do have as you mentioned, and you have helped call attention to their programs in the past. They have a lot of programs, parents as teachers programs, and helping people reintegrate into the community.
They have a great need for children's books.
Yes.
Because I know they have a reading program, as you said, and that is tremendously helpful.
And every time a child comes into the building, they have a rack of books and magazines, and they ask for the child or suggest to the child that they take one home every time they're there visiting.
Now, obviously, around Thanksgiving, the Friends of the Poor have, since Sister Adrian was there years and years and years ago, and it's still being continued, a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner. And they're always looking for volunteers. They're always looking for help with the food. To go and serve a dinner with the Friends of the Poor and the family-to-family giving program that Mary Lou Burney and the Munley Law Firm, Bob Munley and Bernadette and their kids have been involved in that since the kids were small, doing wonderful things.
Yeah.
It really, really is terrific.
And yeah, that's coming up, I believe. Well, there's the two different ones. There's the Thanksgiving one, which is coming up on Tuesday, and then there is the Christmas holiday, which I think comes up around December 8th, is that actual meal. But of course they have they serve on multiple levels. The day before, with of course the preparation where you go over and you're spending time peeling potatoes and cutting pies and doing whatever else it takes to help make the day of success. The actual day where they have the meal, and the day after where they hand out the food bags that the Burney family and all the others have contributed.
And what a wonderful education to kids. First-hand opportunity to see how lucky they were and how nice it is to help someone that at one time in their life or another need a hand.
Yeah, and we hear stories and you've experienced it yourself where people go in where their parents kind of drag them over there the first time, because the first time you might have to drag them over there to do it. And after that, it becomes a lifelong passion, like with the Burney family, how their kids grew up volunteering with that, and now as young adults, they're heavily involved in the organization and solicitations for it.
That's really why I am so excited about this program that MSNBC has started with the December 2nd being Giving Day.
Tuesday,
I think that it is so great for our country because our needs are so great now. You know, there was a time that you could depend on the state and federal government to help people. That day is long past. You're pretty well on your own because our governments have shrunk in size and ability to give to the community. So we have to look to each other to give that hand. And there's an awful lot of things that you can do. And when we come back, what I'd like to do with you is go over some of the things you're seeing in different cities, because you were kind enough to do a little research on what they're doing in one town or another. So please stay tuned to You Be the Judge.
If you are disabled and unable to work, you may be entitled to Social Security benefits. And if you have been paying taxes, then you have earned your benefits. Call the lawyers at O'Malley & Langen, representing Social Security claimants for a quarter of a century.